Hi, hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome back to another session on Power BI. Today is the fourth day of our program. Yesterday in the previous session, we talked about some techniques to transform the data before we can, load this data into our data model, meaning before we can take it into Power BI desktop and start visualizing it. A lot of things can be done on the Power Query editor. So we saw split, merge, how to create conditional columns, how to add columns by examples, and then pivot and unpivot options. So these were covered in the previous video. You will find them there. Today, in this session, in this recording, or in this live session that's happening, we will talk about merge queries, append queries, certain options that are available for transforming numerical data, and how do we transform dates if required. This is the agenda for today. Now, without much delay, I will open Power BI. Yesterday, we had used one file to learn about unpivot and pivot. So I will use the same file and talk about the concept of merge queries. So I'll close this and get connected to that Excel. So I'll use the shortcut to connect to an Excel where we can directly click on the Excel option and we can choose the file. So the file that I had used was the pivot file. Okay. And if you observe the data that is present in that file, there are 3 worksheets. Okay. We have information for certain countries, okay, across different years, 2011 to 2015, we have data kept in one file, 11 to 15. Then same structure, if you can see, similar data, but for the same 5 countries, okay, for the same 5 countries, we have the transactions which have happened from 2016 to 2020 in another file. And for the same 5 countries, India, Bahrain, UK, US, and Australia, the certain values from 2021 to 23 are in another file. Okay, so I have data that is split across multiple files and I would like to combine it. And by combine, what do I mean? I would like to join this data. Okay, so whatever data we have from 2011 to 15, all these columns, and along with that, the data from 2016 to 20, and then data from 21 to 23, 2021 to 2023. This is how I need to combine all the columns from this file, and next to that extended horizontally columns from the second file, and next to that extended horizontally columns from the third file. I need data from all the 3 files, and all the rows from all the files are required. Join will extend the data horizontally by combining the columns. Okay, it extends the data horizontally by combining the columns. And in order to be able to join the data from multiple files, there has to be a common field between the files. And here we have country as a common field in all the files. So we can use country as our join clause. Okay, so I'm going to select all the 3 files and I will try to transform this data because I'm not happy with the structure of this file. I can clearly see that the column headers have not been recognized correctly. Moreover, I know that I need to merge the data. I need to join or merge the data from all the 3 files together, which means I need to transform this data. Therefore, I'll simply click on the transform data button, which loads this data into Power Query Editor, Microsoft's Power Query Editor. For each of these files, the first thing I would like to do is promote the header. Okay. For this file also, I need to promote the header. Here also, I need to promote the header. And here also, I need to use the first row as headers. Okay. So I have country code. We have 2011, 12, 13, 14, and 15 data from 5 years. Now, like this, next to 2015, I need 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And next to that, I need 20, 21, sorry, 21, 22, and 23. Okay. So in order to do this, we must use the option from this group, the combined group that we have on the home ribbon. Merge queries. Merge queries. You can merge everything into the existing one, or you could merge and store the merged data in a new query. So I would like to store it as a new query. Therefore, I'll click on this option, merge queries as new. Now you see, this is my selection, right? Right now I have selected 2011 to 15 data, that sheet. So this is already here. If you want, you can of course change it to something else. And then I need to merge this data with, let's say 2016 and 2020, that data, okay? These two. Now, we should also help Power BI by telling it on which field it is supposed to merge. On the country field. You can also select multiple fields. You can also have multiple fields in your join clause. Okay, that's possible. But here, I don't want this. I will uncheck it. Let me just close and open it again. The sequence in which I selected was wrong. Okay. Merge queries. So here I want to merge it based on country of this field, of this table with country from this table. These two. So the sequence is important. Okay. If you're selecting multiple things, then it's also going to number them as 1 and 2. So you need to be careful when you're sequencing it. Let's say on the combination of these. So country code and country code, country and country code. Like this, it is supposed to match them. Now, what type of join can we perform on this data? What are the different types of joins that are available in Power Query Editor in Power BI? We have left outer, where we get all the records from the left side. Left side means what? Basically the one on the top, this table. Okay. And all the matching records from the second one. Right outer, where we get everything from the second table, this one, and then matching records from the first one. Full outer is where we get all rows from both. Inner will give us only the common data present in both the tables. Left anti or anti. This is basically left only scenario, meaning data that is exclusively present only on the first table without any match in the second table. Or right anti or right anti, which is basically data exclusively present in the second table and not present in the first table. So these are the 6 types of joins that Power BI will allow. Okay. Now here it does not matter what type of join I apply. Why would it not matter? Because we have data for the same 5 countries in all the files. So whether I go with left or right, it doesn't matter. I can go with left or right or with full outer or with inner. Okay, any of these 4 will work. So I'll just go with inner join. Okay, so you can see no matter what type of join I select here, ultimately it's saying 5 of 5, all of them have matches. 5 records in both tables and all of them are matching records, as you can see here. 5 of 5, 5 of 5. All right. So let's go with inner and then click on OK. Now, the moment I click on OK, it's going to merge that data. So we have country code 2011, 12, 13, 14, and the data from the other file, 2016 to 20, is coming here as a table. You see, table. We need to expand it. Okay, we need to expand it. How? By clicking on this icon to expand. So when I click there, it's going to show me the list of all the columns, all the fields present in that file. Country and country code are already present in the previous file. We need not repeat them again from the second file, take them and repeat that column. It will become repetitive column. So columns which are not necessary, which will most probably be repetitive columns, can be removed by simply deselecting them. Then use original name as prefix, column name in the sense sheet name. So this is also not necessary because each and every column from each of these files are unique. They have a unique name. Okay, if you feel that across two files that you're joining, the same name would be there and you need to qualify it with the name of the sheet or the table to which it belongs, then you use this. Otherwise, it's not required. Okay, so I'm not going to use column name as the prefix. And now when I click on OK, you will see how 2016, it expanded. Basically, the table expanded. You can see 17, 18, 19, and 20. If I had selected that checkbox to use the prefix, then this column's name would have been 2016-2020.2016. So it would have prefixed it with the name of the table, dot followed by the column name. Okay, let me show it to you. So when I try to expand this, if I use original column name as prefix, these two are not required. Then the name of the column will be prefixed with the sheet name. You see like this. Dot 2017, dot 2018, dot 2019 and on. Okay. So I don't want that. No, it's not required in this case. So I'll just uncheck this option and uncheck the two columns which are not required in my analysis and click on OK. So this is 2016 to 20 data. Now I need to join another file here. 21 to 23, whatever information I have, that also needs to be combined into this merged data. So I go up to merge queries, and this time I don't want it as something new. I've already joined two tables. I need to join another table in this. Okay, I need to join one more table over here. So I'll simply use merge queries, not as new. Merge queries into this merge one. So this is the merge one data. Okay, up to, you can see we have 2020. Now I need to also bring in data from the other file. Again, here it does not matter what type of join you go with because you have the same 5 records. Row wise, you have based on the join clause. Okay, I'm talking about the join clause. So you have India has a match here, Bahrain has a match here, US has a match, UK has a match, and Australia also has a match. We have same records, same set of data values in the join clause. So I'll simply click on match all the 5 and click on OK. Inner join and click on OK. Now you can notice how to this merge one, the new table got appended. Sorry, not appended, merged. Okay, here append has a different meaning. Merged or joined. So now I have to expand it. I'll expand it by clicking on this icon and then uncheck the fields which are not necessary over here. I wouldn't want to prefix it with the name of the table that it belongs to. I'll just click on OK. So you can now see how 21, 22, and 23's data is also joined. So data for all the years I have. Now let's say I'm not happy with the structure of this data, means having each year as a column, I'm somehow not happy. I just need a field called year with the list of years. And I need a field which will store the values, which means I have to use the unpivot option. Now from where can we access the unpivot option? We go up to transform and here we have unpivot. Okay, so I'm going to select the two columns which should not be involved in pivoting and then go ahead and select the option to unpivot other columns, the ones that are not selected. So you can notice that we got a result. For India, we have data from all the years 11 to 23. Then Bahrain, you have everything. US, you have everything, so on and so. Now we can go ahead and rename the field. Okay, I could just go ahead and rename it. Instead of attribute, let's say I'll just call it year. And this, I will leave it as value. This table also, I would like to rename it because this is the joined one. So I'll just double click, join, output. I'll just call this joined output. After joining the data from all the files, this is what I have. After joining and then of course pivoting also. Joining and then subsequently pivoting. Now let's say you would like to give a row number, an index number to each and every row over here. So yesterday we discussed, you just go to add column and you can add index column. Now you can have index starting from 0. Then you see index column starting from 0. In a sequence, it has added everything. Or let me delete that step. We could have index starting from 1. So you can see it's starting from 1. Or we could also have a custom index starting from wherever we want. So custom, and let's say I want to start at 1001. And what kind of increment would you like to give? Any number, let's say 5 or anything. I'll just give 1. Okay. So starting from 1001, incremental fashion, incrementing by 1 unit, we can see the numbers assigned. So this is not required for now, but I'll just go ahead, edit it with this gear icon here and change it. Start at 1 and increment with 1. So starting at 1, we have it. Now, let's say you want this column to be positioned first, because index, right, row number, it would be pretty meaningful to have it at the beginning of this data. So how do you rearrange the position of the columns? Is you simply drag the column by clicking on it and then move it wherever you want it. Suppose I want it between country and year, I'll have to leave it here. Suppose I want it as the first column, I'll have to drag it to the first position over here and leave it here. So you can interchange the columns or move them around by simply clicking on the column name and then dragging. Click and drag and leave. Click, drag and drop. Okay. So this is how we use the concept of merge queries in order to join the data coming from multiple tables. Okay, like in this case, we had data for a set of years in one file, another set of years in another file, and another set of years in another file. But for my analysis, I need to combine all the data, create one big file with entire data, and then maybe visualize this. So it worked. Joining would be the right thing to do, and it worked. Okay. Here I will give you another example on joins. Now, I'm getting connected to one file called as sample superstore, which has multiple worksheets in it. Those of you who are who already know Tableau would be familiar with sample superstore, or if you have attended SQL sessions, you would be familiar. If you're not familiar, also no worries. I will give you the link to download the file. So what we have here is list of orders placed by customers with a certain business. So the complete detail of the order, like row ID, order ID, when was it placed, okay, all this detail is over here, and the numericals associated with it. However, if people return, suppose a person did not like it and they returned it, then that information about the orders returned is in the returns table. Okay, so information about the orders placed are in one table. Information about the orders returned are in another table. If you look at orders table, everything looks perfectly fine. The column headers are read properly. We don't have any null information or errors in this file. Everything is pretty good. But when I look at returns, the column headers are not recognized. So again, I need to transform this data. So I selected both of them, both the files. And now I'll click on OK. Now this data will go into the Power Query editor. So here I need to promote the headers by using first row as headers. So I have orders and I have returns with just 2 fields in it. But now I need information about orders placed as well as returned together in one table, in one query. So what to do? I will have to join. Okay. So in order to perform the join, we'll just go up to merge queries, and the joined output, let's say I want to save it as a separate file. So I'll say merge queries as new. Now it is going to show me list of all the fields with some sample data present in the first file. Second file with which you might want to join this, you need to select by clicking on this drop-down icon. I need to join it with returns. Between the two, is there a common field to join? Because if there is no common field, then they are disjoint files. It wouldn't be possible to join them. Here, yes, order ID is the common field. So I'm going to choose order ID. After selecting the join clause, here you have to change the join type. Now, depending on the join type, data will differ over here. Why? Because here we don't have the same set of rows in both the files. It's not like each and every order placed will be returned by the customers. Only a subset of those orders would be returned. Only certain people will return the orders. So each join, depending on your data, could give you a different result, could give you a different output. Okay. Now, suppose there is a table with these two columns, name and age, and there is another table with the columns, name and course. All right. And if I go ahead and join them, if I have to get details from, if I want complete information about the orders placed, as well as I want the information about the student, the age, as well as course, then I need to combine this into one big query. Two queries here. I need to combine it. So name, age, and then course. I need course also over here. So I need a table with all the columns put together. Okay, let's say this name also we can take if we want. We have the option, right, to take this also if we want. So now if I go with inner join, is there a common field between the two? There is a common field, name. Name is the join clause, the common field. So where if I go with inner join over here, and let's say where name equal to name, my join clause is the name field. Okay, name field. So where name from this table is equal to the name from this table, then the join has to happen. Now, if I apply inner join over here, suppose I apply inner join on this data on the name field. So it will check. For student B here, is there a match? Yes, there is a match, right? B, there is a match here. So this will participate in inner join. And form a row like this. I will get a row like this. B will line up with B, forming a record like this. Then for C, is there a match? Yes, there is a match. Right. For C over here, there is a match found over here. And we are looking at inner join, which is common data in both the tables. So yes, this will match. Then over here, D has a match. This will be the result of my inner join. E will not get involved. Why? Because for E, when I check is for a match on the other side, E does not have a match here. Similarly, A, which does not have a match over here, will not participate in inner join. If I go with inner join on these two tables, this is the result that I'm going to get. Okay, this is the result I will get if I go with inner join on these tables. Now, what if I choose to go with left join on these tables? Okay, rather than inner join, what if I might want to perform left join? Okay, left join. So this is my first table and this is my second table, right? So left join means it will give me everything from the left hand side. A, B, C, D, E. E also will come. Everything from the left hand side will come from the first table. And for every record from the first table, it will look for a match in the other side, in the other table, the second table. If a match is found, data will be brought and they will line up forming a record. Now for E, which does not have a match over here, it will be left blank, null. Okay, there is no match found. So this will be null. Null means no match, nothing found. I could not find a match. But A will not get involved in left join, because here the focus shifts to the first table and to simply obtain the matches from the second table is the idea. Okay, now if I perform right join on this data, what will happen? If I had performed right join on these two tables, then I will get everything from the right hand side. So A, B, C, D, everybody will come. A also will come. Okay, and A is enrolled for TAF. So from here, we will get all the data. From the second table, we get all the data. From the first table, matches will come and line up, forming a nice row. And for those members for which we do not have a match, like for A over here, there is no matching data here, right? That will be left as null. What about E? E will not participate. Why will E not participate? Because this is right join, focusing on the data from the right side. And the idea is to simply bring matches from the left side, which we have obtained wherever there is a match. And for any record on the right side, if there is no match on the left side, nulls will be padded. This is right join. Okay. Now, what if I perform full? What if I perform full join? I will get everything from both the tables. Suppose I go with full. I will get everything from both the tables. B, C, D, E, A, everybody. E also will come in fact here. E also will come. Everything from both the tables. And wherever matching records are there, they will line up nicely. For whichever member on one side, there is no match on the other side, null padding will happen. Like this, nulls will come. Okay. So these are the 4 joins which are there in almost all the tools. Here what we have is left anti, right anti. 6, right? In total, 6 joins are there in Power BI. So what other things we have is left anti. Left anti. So what does left anti do? Something that is present only in the left side table will show up without any match on the right side. So which record is there? Let's say this is our first table. Which record do we have in the first table which does not have a match on the other side? E. So in case I do left anti or left only join, I will get something like this. Okay, of course, we're bringing everything. So all the columns will come. Once you join, you're combining the columns. Right? The moment you say you're joining, you're using merge query, you're combining the columns from the tables. But what will happen? Left only scenario, right? Left anti scenario. So exclusively in the left side means the first table without any match on the other side. This will be the result of left anti. Okay. So now what if I do right anti, which is another type of option, another join option that we have. Okay, right anti. What will happen? I will get A because A is the only record that is present exclusively on the or in the second table without any match over here. So this will be null and this will be null. So this will be the result of right anti. Okay, these are the 6 types of joins, and depending on the scenario, depending on what is the data you're working with, depending on how the data is in both the tables and what question you're trying to answer, you need to choose which join type to use. Okay, which join type to use when you are merging the queries. Over here, order ID is the common field. Now what to do? If my focus is to only look at the orders which were placed and returned also, means they are there in the orders table and also present in the returns table. I want to know which of these orders were returned and their detail also. Then I must go with inner join. So once I go with inner join and click on OK, I think I was working here. So you can see we have information about the orders which were placed and subsequently returned. So I'll expand the returns table and show you. This time I want the original column name as a prefix. So yes, it is returned. And you can see these are the orders which have been returned. Yes, yes, everywhere it is yes. In total, how many columns and how many rows? 21 columns were there in orders. Okay. And 2 columns were there in returns. So together I have 23 columns in my output. How many rows? Only 800 rows. Only 800 rows because only the common data is being brought because of the join that I did. Okay. Now, what if I might want to change the join type? I'll just click on this gear icon. Oh no, the source itself, right? I'll just click here. And I will change it here. From inner, let's say I'll go with left anti. Means what? I want information about the records, orders, which are present exclusively only in the first table. Only in the first table, they should be present exclusively without any match over here. So logically speaking, from business point of view, what am I trying to achieve? Get information about the orders which were successfully processed and not returned. Information about the orders which were not returned, which got processed successfully. Now this, when I now apply the expand step over here, right? You can see it is giving me a lot of rows, 999 plus rows. Bottom left corner I'm looking at, bottom left corner. 23 columns and 999 plus rows. Okay, some nulls are there. Everything will be null over here, isn't it? It should not have a match in this table. Left only, something exclusively present on the left side, it should not have a match in the returns table. Means orders which have not been returned. So if I click here, you will see only null, nothing else, only null. Why? Because these are, we are looking for such data. We are looking for such data where a record in the orders table doesn't have a match in the returns table. If match is not there, nulls are padded, and you can see we have only nulls. Okay. I hope you're all able to understand this concept. Now let me change the join type to left join. Instead of left anti, if I go with left outer or left join, simple left join. So now what am I looking for? Information about the orders which were placed and also their information if it is present in the returns table. If a match is not there in the returns table, it is null. Meaning this order, which is here in the orders table, did not have a matching record in the returns table, which means the order wasn't returned. And if a match is found, it means that order was returned. Match found means order was returned. That is why it's in the returns table. Null means that particular order wasn't returned. So depending on what is the question that we are trying to answer, what is our focus, we need to accordingly choose the correct join type. And merge is nothing but join. Merge query is to join. And join is what? Combining the columns from multiple tables into one big table. All the columns are getting combined together and it gets extended horizontally. So that is the concept of merge queries in Power BI. Here I'll take up your questions and then we'll talk about append queries. Just a moment. Let me open my phone. Okay, live chat of the previous session is not there, so you're not able to take the data sources. All right, I will ask the team to post it, post the link in the comment section of that video. Okay, Anurag. Data set already shared, Nidhi. Yesterday's data files only. Superstore, I will give you the link now. Actually, I will just show you how to search for Superstore. You can search for it on the internet. See, when you just say Superstore, no? This is the community thread. I will put it in the chat of this particular recording. Okay. Superstore file link I will give you by putting it in this recording. All right. Anything else related to the concept? Data sets was shared yesterday. Looks like some of you missed it. So we will pin the links in the comment section for the data sets so that you can take it from there. So mostly question is only on data set. All right. Joins are from SQL also. Yeah, same logic. Joins in anywhere, it is the same logic. Right. Yes, Atul. Yes. Answer to your question is yes. Yes. After performing EDA and Python notebook, can we add data to Power BI to make dashboard? Yes, we can do that. Or we have to perform again. No, you don't have to perform cleaning again. If you have already cleaned your data in Python, you directly can bring that data into Power BI and you can directly start visualizing it. You don't have to again go ahead and do any sort of thing. What if we want to merge 10 tables or more? Yeah, we see merge queries, we are doing it from here only, and there it's giving you the option of selecting only 2 at a time. So you just take that merge and merge it with the next one, so on and so forth. I don't know. We will get such scenarios, or this is the procedure for only common fields repeatedly uncheck the columns. Okay, can you share that order? Okay, can we do some declare? Even whatever list of data sources you find here, right? You can connect to all of them using Power BI. Whatever list of data sources you find when you click on new source, the big list will open. All of them you can use. Okay, so yeah, Power BI is not in scope for this particular training where we are learning Python. Connectivity is not in scope. Okay, that we teach as a part of our regular paid program. Our regular paid program on Power BI is a 30-hour session. The duration of that training is 30 hours, where we go much more further into the concept, much beyond what we are discussing in the free session. So yeah, if you want advanced analytics like that, you want to be able to use R scripts and Python scripts, then you have to enroll for the full program. It's of 30 hours duration. All right. Okay, so that was about merge. Now we will discuss about the concept of append queries. Okay, please do check out our syllabus. You can go to our 360DigiTMG website, and there you can check out the syllabus for the full program on Power BI, and then you can enroll for it accordingly to learn even the pretty advanced concepts. Okay, all right. Now merge is equivalent to join, and we have seen that it is combining the columns and bringing in the data depending on the join clause and depending on the type of join that you apply. The concept of merge is nothing but join, which is similar to joins that you do on your relational databases. Okay, joins that you do on any other tools like Tableau, etc. Now, append is similar to the concept of union. Any of you who is familiar with the concept of union, it is nothing but append here. It is called append queries over here. So what is union and when to use it? Meaning, what is append queries and when do we append the data? What does append do? So, now let's say the data for a certain business is stored in such a way that each year they have a separate file that they create or separate table that they create to store information about the transactions happening in that year. So if you look at this now, 2011 transactions of a business superstore are in this file. Transactions which have happened in the year of 2012 are in another file. And transactions which have happened in the year of 2013 are in a different file. So I need to take data from 3 files. If you look at the structure of the files, it is the same. Country, state, region, category, subcategory, product name, sales, and profit. Same 8 columns are there everywhere. Same 8 columns, but the data is different. Data here is the one corresponding to 2011. Data here is one corresponding to 2012, and data here is the one corresponding to 2013. So I need to take data from all the 3 files and combine it. Okay, so how would I like to combine this? Using append, which is nothing but union. So 2011 data, whatever I have with respect to transactions of 2011, and then I need to take data from 2012 and append it like this. Merge was doing like this, right? Extending it horizontally, adding the columns. Append will add the rows. So 2012 is going to be appended. Then I need 2013 data to come, and that should get appended like this. So with append, what is happening? When should we use it? When the structure of the files is the same, but it's just the data is split across multiple files. Like for each year, maybe a separate file. Okay, or let's say there is a business which is operating across multiple regions. Okay, let's say for central region, they have one file. All the transaction in east region, they have maintained in another file. Transactions happening in southern region, they have maintained another file. And transactions happening in, let's say, south region, they have another file. So I need to bring all the data from all the regions together and find out what is the total profit made by the business. Then I have to append the data like this. Okay, then we will basically perform append. So I hope you all understood how is the concept of join different from the concept of union. How is the concept of merge different from the concept of append? Still, if there are any doubts and it's not clear, you can go ahead and I would request you all to kindly watch the sequel session recordings where all this is dealt with in a much more depth. Okay. So I'm going to get connected to that Excel file now, which is my union demo file, and open. It has data present in 3 different sheets. I have data in 2011, data of 2012 in another sheet, data of 2013 in another sheet. So I need all the 3 of them to be unioned together. So I selected all of them and I'll click on OK. And if you notice each of these files, everything is perfect. The column headers are recognized nicely. There are no errors. There are no nulls. The data types are assigned appropriately. For decimals, decimal data type. For text, text data type. So there is no need to do any sort of transformation with respect to cleaning of the data over here. I don't have to add rows. I don't have to remove rows. I don't have to split. Nothing. Everything is fine. Only thing is data from 2011, 12 and 13 has to be combined together, appended together. So how do we do that? We can go up to the combined group present in the home ribbon, go to append queries, and then whether you want to append everything into this particular query, which is selected right now, 27, or do you want the appended data to be stored as a separate query? You can choose. I want it as a separate query, so I'll select append queries as new. Now, if you're planning to append only 2 tables, this is fine, 2 tables, first table and second table. But if you have multiple tables to append, then you have to choose this radio button, multiple. 2011 is already there, which was the initial file. Now 2012, I'm going to click on this add button and add it. And then 2013 also needs to be included over here. Okay, using the add button, I brought 2013 also. So all these 3 will now be appended. You see, a new query called as append1 got created, and data from everything 2011, 12 and 13 are combined together now. If you want, you can just double click and change the name of the query. So this is, let's say, full data, something like that. So that is the concept of append. All the 8 columns are there. All the 3 files have 8 columns each. Output also has only 8 columns because we are not combining the columns here. It's only the records that are getting appended together. Okay, that is about append queries. Now, when we discussed about transform, we covered quite a lot of things present under all of these things. Like we discussed all these things. We discussed options over here. But about numerical data, the number column, what kind of transformation can we do on numerical data? This we had not discussed much. So we'll talk about this now. I think I can just use this also and give a demonstration. See here, some basic operations that you can do for transforming your data, which is in a numerical field, is first rounding it off. Suppose you want to round off the data present in that field. So you can go to rounding. There's an option to round up and there's an option to round down. So if I say round up, all these will get rounded up. This will become 42, this will become 220, this will become 7, and this will become 383. It is negative, right? This will become 3, so on. So let me round up. Look at that. Okay, round up. Now let me undo that. The other option we have is round down. So when I say round down, let's see what happened. 41, 219, 6. And this was negative, right? So rounding down makes it negative 384. It is negative 383 point something. Rounding down makes it negative 384 because it's negative. This becomes 220. This becomes 42. This becomes 41. This becomes 219. This is 6. This is 2. This is 14. But this is 384. When you round down for negative numbers, it's slightly different. It's the opposite, right? Now, other option that we have under rounding is we can round it off to whatever number of decimal places we might want. So let's say round it off to 2 decimals or only 1 decimal. Okay, so you can see it gets rounded off to 1 decimal like that. Okay, so rounding is one very useful feature, I would say, when you're working with numerical data. Next thing that we can do is information. You can check whether the data in that field is even or odd. So if I want to make check for even, if I click on is even, wherever we had even numbers, it is marked true. It is true for even. True for even, and it is false for odd. Let me undo that. The other option we have is obviously the other way around is odd. So what will it do? Wherever we have odd numbers, it will give us true. Wherever we have even numbers, it will give false. So it's basically the vice versa scenario. Another option we have is to check for the sign. So what will this do is we are not bothered about what is the value. Suppose you're just interested in whether it is positive or negative. Then you can go with sign. Positive values are all having 1, negative have a -1, -1, -1. Okay, so we're not worried about what is the data. We're just interested in whether it is positive or negative. So I'll just go ahead and remove that also, undo that. Then over here under scientific, we have something called as absolute value. So what is absolute value? It will just retain the value irrespective of the sign. So let's say this is positive and this is negative, right? It does not bother. It will only leave the value. It will ignore the sign. So wherever you have negative, it's just remove the sign. So absolute value of a number, let's say I have a number +7. Absolute value of +7 is 7. If the number is -7, the pen tool doesn't work properly on this machine. Okay, if I have a number -7, then the absolute value will be 7 itself. So when you're focused only on the number and not on the sign, then you can use to see whether it is up. You can just focus on taking the absolute value, calculate the absolute value. Okay, I'll remove that. Here we have other options like you can find the square of a number, you can find the cube, or to whatever, raise it to the power of anything. Let's say that value over here raised to the power of 4 is what I want. Okay, so the value raised to the power of 4 is this, that kind of a thing. Square root, exponent, logarithm, factorial, all these options are there. Then we have something called as standard. Let's say whatever data I have in the profit column. Now, these are things that people generally do using DAX language. After you go into Power BI also, you have options to do such things, add, divide, multiply, round off a number, all this. You can do it using DAX language. Now, let's say you're not much interested in learning DAX. Okay, let's say you don't want to get into those technicalities of learning DAX. Then without learning DAX, all these basic operations you can perform on query editor. Okay, all these things that I'm showing, manipulating numerical data or manipulating the text data that we did, like split, merge, adding new columns, all these, you can write using DAX language also. But we have all these user-friendly options as well. So without even learning DAX, we can do these things. So let me go here. Let's say I want to add certain value to the profit. Whatever data I have in the profit column, I would like to add $10 to it. Okay, I want to add $10. So I'll just add 10. Now what will happen? Here it will get incremented by 10, as you can see. Okay. Like that, whatever sort of operation you want, multiply, divide, subtract, percentage and percent off. Very interesting feature. Now this is there, right? So what will percentage do? Percentage, if I give 100, nothing will happen. So this is 100% of whatever is there in the column, right? Whatever value was there in the column, 100% of that is the same value. But if I now go and change that percentage, let's say I'll make it 50. Then what will happen? Whatever is the value in that field, 50% of it will be replaced. This will get replaced with 50% of that value, half of that value. So 41.9, I'm asking 50% of it. So I will get half of it, 20.95. Half of the next one, 109.8. Getting it? That is percentage. Now I'll undo that also. Then percent of, these two are different. Percentage is what percent of the value present in that column are you trying to show? 50% of it, 25% of it, like that. Percent of means when you are comparing the value here against some other value. Let's say there is a target that every transaction we are expected to make a profit of 200. So 41.9 is what percent of 200? Getting it? What percent of 200? It would be around 20%. So anywhere we have got a profit of more than 20%, you can see 120.15. Lot of profit we got beyond what we had expected. Okay, so that is percent of. Here, the target given was 200, but when I divide this number by 200, I've made much more than that. I've made much more than that by a certain value. Okay, so that is percent of. When you're comparing, dividing this with some other number and expressing it. Like that statistics also we have, we can show the summation of the data in the column. We can show the average of the data in that field, median, minimum, maximum, standard deviation, all these options are there. Suppose I say sum. So it's going to show me what is the total profit. This is the total profit when I add everything in that column. I don't need this, so I'll close it. Okay, so that is what you can do with respect to numerical data when you go under the transform repeat number column, how they can be, how numbers can be manipulated. All right, now let's just go back to orders. And over here, I would like to show you what kind of manipulation we can do on the date manipulation. So depending on what field you select, the options are accordingly enabled or disabled. You can notice that these are all disabled now, because I can't really do any addition, multiplication, subtraction, percentage, percent of, trigonometric rounding off these functions on my date field. Statistics wise, certain things only are enabled. I can't sum up the dates. Okay, I can get count. I can count how many dates are there. Distinct values can be counted. Okay, so over here, I have order date and date option is active. Things that we can look at. If you want to look at only the year part of that date, so you can just go and say year. It will show you only the year. We extracted year. See, even without going here and trying to figure out what to do, because it is a date field, directly I extracted the year from there. Okay, so if I go here, if I would like to know what is the month, 11th month, 6th month, 10th month, 12th month, we can extract a certain part of the date that is over here, and we have many options, not just month, beginning of that month, end of the month, days in the month, name of the month. Let's get name of the month. You see? So a lot of manipulation we can do with respect to dates also. Now, over here, let's say I just want the year part into a separate field. I want a separate column which will hold only the year of this. So yesterday we discussed, we can go and add column from example from the selection. This is what I have selected. And from here, once I double click, you see, it's giving me so many options. Like what do you want to extract from there? I want the year 2016, I will take, enter. It has very intelligently extracted the year part from this date. Okay, fine, I'm happy with this. Now, I'll use the date field itself. This time, again, I want to create from selection. let's say I want to take the month and the year. This is my date field. From here, I want to take the month and the year. So I'll take 2016 and the month is 11th month. Enter. It could not understand. Let's do one more time. 2016. This is also 11. It's thinking I am hard coding 2016 everywhere. Let me try one more time. It's 2016 and 06 this time. Now it recognized the pattern. Okay. So with just one attempt, you may or may not get everything. You may have to repeat the pattern till you get what you are, actually looking for. So here you can see it recognized the pattern and I'm happy with the way it has recognized it. Okay. I extracted the year and the month from that column. Now let's say from this column, I want to extract not from this column. Let's go back to date only. Let's say from my date column, I would now like to extract the day. What day is it? Monday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What day is it? 8/11/2016 is what day? So again, I'll go make from selection, double click, and I already have day option. Because day is not something that you can type in there, right? How is it going to recognize that? No, it's day. Because it is a date field, it's giving us Tuesday as the option. 8/11/2016 is Tuesday. I'll just select Tuesday and enter. Now everywhere else, it's automatically populating the day name. Okay. So like this, we have n number of ways of transforming our data on the Power Query editor. Whatever we have covered in the previous 2-3 sessions related to Power Query editor, I would actually, honestly, we have gone to a pretty advanced level. Okay, this is more than enough for any of you to start working on any project and to transform your data on the Power Query editor while using Power BI. So with this, we will stop our discussion on Power Query editor. We have dealt a lot of concepts in the width and breadth and depth. Width and depth of it we have covered in detail. So we will, from tomorrow, we will discuss about data model. Okay, how do we define relationships? One-to-one relationship, one-to-many relationship, many-to-one relationship, and many-to-many relationships in the model, data model. A star schema is used in Power BI, where you have the fact table, which is linked with all the dimension tables, fact dimension model, which is the star schema model. Okay, so we will talk about data modeling tomorrow with respect to building relationships. After that, I think we have worked enough with the data and all the options over here to take the next step and proceed towards creating the first visual and then proceeding and learning about a lot of charts that we can create on Power BI and reporting. So tomorrow, that would be the agenda. Okay, that's it from my side for today. Please do watch the videos again if you have to. And the link to the videos, to the files that I have used in this training, we shall pin it in the comment section of the videos so that you can just click on that link and download all the files that you need. All right, thank you so much. Please do hit the like button if you found the session informative, and we are trying our best to cover as much as possible. And please do check out our full training program, which is of 30 hours duration, where we dive much deeper into the advanced concepts. Here also we are covering quite a lot, honestly, but you can also enroll for the full program, which is a paid program. All right. Thank you so much. Now, let me look at your questions. If there are no questions, you can leave.